I'm not sure why I wasn't live that entire time. Anyways, we had looked at different languages like V. We already did this yesterday pretty much, but I was looking in depth. Some nuance differences like which use LVM, which have better like developer experiences, and and then also like lines of code. So VLang, oops, I meant VLang. Like Clang has like 2 million lines of code. I mean, pretty much like 1.5 million lines of C and C++ code, I think. Let me take a look at VLang. Um, Written in V. VLang's written in V. Yeah, like a million lines of code. D, D is quite nice. It's D, DMD. There's DMD. Like a million lines. And there's LDC, which is like 600 plus lines. And I don't know. I like LDC. Like I don't know. Here's stuff. Anyways, yeah. So we've been we had a lot of like these extern declarations lying around. I don't. Yeah, like we have some of these things still. And I am uh more in favor of uh importing like utilizing via imports as opposed to these extern declarations. Like I much prefer this. So we're converting a lot to these ones right here. And I'm also making chicken right now. And, we're also doing these declarations before statements because, in my opinion, it's the only way for C to be readable. I mean, this is pretty much C, right? Otherwise, you just have too much misalignment. Like you have way too much misalignment if you don't do that, and then things just become harder to read. So I actually I like this a lot, and it also becomes clear what the allocations are just very clear. Um, I don't know, this is nice. This is really nice. This really is like a better C, as far as I can tell. Yeah, so we're just working with that. And like I love aliases because they're just fucking called aliases, so it's clear as day what's an alias versus what's like a regular declaration. It's very nice. So anyways, this is cool. So yeah, so we're gonna keep converting. We're gonna keep cleaning it up because the code base is really ugly right now. It's getting more pretty, but it's not fully pretty yet. And like we have a lot of these similar enough files that uh, are likely just cross importing uh, import content. Like content is kind of like a God module. I really don't like that. I'm not sure yet if it actually needs to exist. It might. I mean, it might just need to exist. We'll see. Like it might be worth it. We removed the formatter because there are a lot of bugs with it. Like sometimes declarations will, sorry, return values will, uh, like go to the next line instead of where they should be. So, anyways, we're just fixing things up, cleaning things up. And then we're gonna next after we clean this up, we're gonna inline. Actually, well, we have a lot of these like runtime structs, which just hold they just hold state, and I'm actually not a fan of this. I'd much rather the state be at the module scope. We just have like instead of encapsulating everything in a struct, we can just have some side effectful functions that just mutate the state directly instead of like passing it in. I actually prefer that because then we can think of modules as like sub state managers. Like you have a whole state, you have a state of the program, and then you have like substates which are like self-fulfilling. Um, and they can of course react to like external change. But the point is like they are fully managing. And in order for that analogy to make sense, that kind of means like you have to store state in these modules. So like they're gonna be like singletons basically. That's that's a nice way for me to think of it's easier for me to think about state where state is when I do it this way. So that's why I do it this way. State. So modules on their own state where it's possible. It's not always possible. Or at least it's not always ideal because it might be too hard to follow in some cases, but usually it's really nice. Yeah, this is fucking stupid. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, just cleaning up the code. See what happens. I mean, it seems to be getting a lot better. It's not ideal yet, but it's getting better. Okay, so today we are joined right here by Uncle Bob, the Robert Martin himself. How you doing? Thank you. Why don't you give like a kind of an introduction to who you are, so anyone that doesn't know, they can get to know you. For 50 some odd years, written all kinds of coding, assembly language, and C, and then C++, and Java. Nowadays, I'm working Clojure. That's the language. You know me, I'm just the author of Game Code and a whole bunch of other books. For 8 years, so that's who I am. You also signed the original Agile Manifesto 2003, February 31. February 2000. I guess that's true. We were all there together. Yep. So okay, so I just have to ask, how did you get to Clojure? Because I did read that article where you talked about Clojure and all that, and I think that's how we had our first introduction. It's me reading that article, which I just like Clojure to be such a bizarre language jump from I guess the more like what we call it enterprise Java style programming. Yeah, so yeah, it's a lot of therapy. Yeah. Somebody gave me a couple of recommendations. Was structures and good right out of the 80s. And I got the book and I had enough PPE. I got myself, I didn't read it for a while. And then one day I started fucking through it. And the book just capped. It was like one of those moments when, like, oh my God, what the hell am I reading here? And what's the name of the book again? Can you say the name one more time? Structure and interpretation of computer programs. Which you can get for free nowadays. That's I Okay. I don't think I've ever read that.
Oh yeah, like the free, you get free. You can also see all lectures. They're all online and they 1980s guys drawing their this was on the platform. Very, very fun stuff to do. But the just Alfred's editor. And of course the language was this where it was steep right up this door. And I thought, okay, I had for 30 years thought I'm never gonna learn Lisp. I don't want to learn Lisp. It sounds like another language.
No, I'm currently on that team, and I'm crossing my second year mark, so I'm close.
Okay, so I read that book and it changed my life. And thought, okay, I got to get a list. And I just happened to bump into I had known Grace Company for long years. And I saw his work on Mother, and I thought, okay, if this lady coming in, probably at 2000. And I just fell in love with my and I can just
Wow. Okay. And what is like? Just because I'm fairly kind of stuck in my C-looking language ways. They generally don't. I just we were having a talk earlier that I think one of the reasons why functional style languages are largely unsuccessful is because their syntax is stupid. It's what I it was saying. When I say stupid, I mean that the average person who's had 10 years of programming that looks at functional syntax, they're just like incapable of just even reading it to begin with. It's just so divergent from what is like kind of a zeitgeist of programming. And so how was that transition? Because that's clearly where you fell in love with it. Was there like a hard period? Was there a time where you're just like, why am I doing this to myself?
so the syntax of this and therefore pleasure is so absurdly simple that there is no syntax area cross. There's almost no syntax that relates to the start thing when you start with things. You're asking yourself, where are all the handles to it? How do I control this language? Where's the capacity? Where's the thing? Where's the all these keywords? And the answer to that is there aren't any. And all you really have are a couple of very, very simple gestures. Which, by the way, makes the language remarkably expressive. The less it gets, the more semantics, as it turns out. So,
Good or bad?
both.
Okay.
It's both good and bad. It's a double-edged sword. Although I err on the semantic side, I like the express. If you've ever done a form, I'm not one of these languages that have multi-syntax. A small talk, 11 languages that have multi-syntax. There are a few languages like that. And they become very expressive because you're not trained by this big syntax fire that drags around you.
Yeah.
But so I get that. So,
So so that does that mean? Because I've heard this stated before, and I don't quite understand it because I don't have the experience with lists to actually like really concretely understand this. Besides from a square on a blackboard, that every kind of list program is almost its own unique language onto itself. Is that does that kind of follow up with because you can kind of define everything yourself because uh, there is no real syntax, as you say. So people kind of really create their own structures in every kind of unique way. Yes, when you go from one to another, you have this like you kind of have to adopt the person's mentality who wrote it.
that's in general. So everyone. So when you're a programmer, when you're really good at your thinking in other language to express your problem in list, the syntax is the sparse that all your communication in another language express your problem without a constraint and quite syntax. The language also has a number of features that make it very easy. Features affordances, in other words, that make it very easy to add facilities to what appears to be the language. I'm being a police on purpose. There's no other way to say that.
By instance support, automate complex workflows, and deliver the most natural human-like output.
Okay, okay. I think I understand what you're trying to say. If I were to re-say that, it sounds like you're trying to say that the language allows you to make things that look like it's part of the language. That's right. And not something you've created. Thus, yeah, this whole idea of you kind of invent your own. This program is its own language onto itself.
Convenient. Got water. Working.
Chicken smelling. How's it? I don't know.
Oh my god, it's fucking spicy. It's
Spicy?
fucking spicy.
Okay. Like hot spicy or like herbal spicy?
Hot. Oh my god, why is it so fucking spicy? Hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
What is it? What is it? What is it? What have you done? Did I try one of the chickens?
Yeah. Not good.
They're not good. Why? What'd you do to them?
Okay, that's why.
How can you use so many herbs and spices and not get good results? It's a
You better eat that whole thing.
I mean, pretty good for what it is. Chicken's good. Flavor. Was you putting in cumin?
No. Pepper.
Or
Milk.
uh-huh.
Uh, Oregano.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. That's great. I would say jumbled up.
Alright.
Next time you can use some cumin. Cumin is like very popular in Indian cuisine. I don't know. Did you like the moisture from the milk?
Oh.
Yeah. And the milk does moisturize it, which is like it moisturizes while it gives it that kind of a creamy flavor. You know it takes the. I don't know how to really explain that.
What is cumin do?
Cumin? You mean cumin?
Yeah.
It's just another spice another herb you can add. I think. Where's it? You add garam masala.
Oh, we did have cumin.
Where? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's like what it was missing.
You added ginger.
No.
You could add some ginger powder next time when you bought it, right?
Yeah.
Ginger, the cumin.
I didn't say it really tastes it.
Huh?
I added lime, but I didn't really taste it.
Yo, what you expected it to be like limey? Because lime, the flavor of lime, doesn't really come through. It mostly like pH balances it, plus adds vitamins. If you really want to feel the lime flavor, you should add it at the end, rather than let it cook with it.
Okay.
I don't know, something about lime when you just leave it to get cooked, it just the flavor gets very yeah, it just gets absorbed into everything and there's no potency to it.
in my experience. Yeah. Zionist. You Zionist. Oh, these psyops are getting really articulate. Oh, the whole fucking thing that it's for I'm not seeing it soccer ball. The Jew what is it called? The Jamaican app? Some kids were like ganging up, just put some like I hate Jews, fuck Jews up on the sticky on some kid's locker. He like pulled out his over press and a black kid count and hugged it. Don't right here. I got you. Like, crazy. Like, why would they bring a black kid into it? Trying to gain everyone's sympathy. Well, if a black guy's doing it, then it must be a good thing. Well, speaking of the oppressed, funded by a fucking Zionist. Like, if you're the one making fucking ads, then you're not fucking. You're not. You don't have a problem. You're not. You're definitely not at the bottom of the food chain if you're making ads. Mm. Doobity 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 doo. Doobity 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 doo. Doobity 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 doo. Let's see. How do I fucking see this shit? What the fuck? Streaming is using track two. Well, track two. Track two is which one? Track two is just audio input capture, so there shouldn't get picked up. So which means we can play music as long as we have voice isolation mode on, and we do have it on. Therefore, we can play music, so it's good to go. Oh, we're not playing Zeitgeist, we're playing Voodoo. So okay. Esperança. Esperança. This would be the best song to listen to while high. I wish there were like legit ways of getting high in Japan. You know what I mean?
You're telling me, bro, it's like my number one wish. Fuck, dude, Japan with weed would do so much better. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I mean, after like seeing the outcomes of legalization of weed in America, I'm kind of against it.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Trafficking?
Huh? Trafficking? No. It's just
Monopolized. Or not monopolized, I'm sorry.
can I just let me talk? I just ask me.
That's not what I meant, but
That's not where I was heading at all. Give me a second. Let me talk. You can add your thoughts.
yes, sir.
What was your question?
Oh, what's your reason for not liking the adoption of weed? U.S.
I think they're overdoing it. Like weed is just not organic anymore out there. It seems they're like, everybody's just like chasing an incredibly impossible high off of fucking weed. And so from what I've heard is like,
You liked it more when it was low key.
yeah. And like, one thing I've noticed about illegal drugs is that it creates its own cycle of what do you call it? Um it's like a self-monitoring system. Like if you're too dumb to do drugs, you would either like do a dumb thing and get caught, or you wouldn't even ever dare to touch it.
Right.
And if you get caught, then you're forced to seek help, which they should. And then on top of that, like dealers as well. Dealers do not like dealing to troublesome clients.
Because they're a risk.
Yeah, exactly. But then on the other hand, when you legalize weed, any dumb motherfucker smokes weed. Like they hear about how like, oh, weed is this magical thing that opens your mind and you're just so relaxed and you can do shit. But no, they smoke weed and they get dumber. And I think they shouldn't be allowed to do that. And on top of that, then you have these fucking autistic ass like competitive thing where like, oh, my weed is more poisonous. And it's just like, they do like hella genetic fucking shit to it, and it's like, I mean, forget that. Like now, people are like more focused on fucking oil products, which most of them are even fake. They're just like chemically fucking, put together, put in vapes so people smoke like two puffs in their 5 minute break, and then just get so fucking high that almost they're left to their right. Bro, what the fuck? Organic weed could never do such a thing unless like you.
They're always trying to get something that gives you the most out of nothing.
Yeah,
It's like it's always trying to squeeze as much value out of something. It's like that's not the fucking point. That was never the point.
And then on
Because
top of that, then when it comes to like weed, at least I can speak of weed, you have now that it's legalized, right? You're allowing the non-smoking public to also have opinions about something they don't understand. So now there's a bunch of laws about weed that it isn't even about weed anymore. It's just political, and it just like takes us further away from what weed really is.
so
And
it's
then
just like it's one of those things that's better untouched because people don't even know how to put legislation around it
exactly,
or like they just don't know how to it
and
turns into something more than just what it was. Now it's turning into a bunch of politics and capitalism and
yeah,
XYZ. That's not. It was much less. Uh, it was it was just better before. I mean, that's really
exactly.
just better experience.
Like right now, like now they have to sit down and come up with so many regulations about being high. Like it's not even. Is it illegal to drive while you're high?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Under the
Okay.
influence.
Well, now you got to sit down, spend so much time fucking making new laws around like specific nuances of
Right.
like being high or not.
Right.
Whereas before, it was up to the individual. Like, are you crazy enough to get high before work? Can you handle yourself? And then honestly, like, if a person who gets high at work and can't handle themselves, they just get fired. Boom, problem solved.
Mhm.
Now, if you get high and you get fired over it, you could have a proper court case. And it's like it takes away from the points that you're not supposed to be high at work if you can't handle it.
Yeah.
And then who's making these legislations? Probably people who don't even smoke weed. So they're just like making laws up on assumptions that it just doesn't make sense. And again, like besides the laws and stuff, the weed itself is like being fucking genetically changed into something it's not. I'm not even gonna talk about the price. Like people 2 generations from now will never know what real weed fucking even feels like.
It's like what they do with the bananas.
Type shit.
I don't have original bananas anymore.
No.
Fucking lost the time.
People used to smoke weed and relax. Now they smoke weed and have fucking anxiety attack. And it's not even fun. So that's why I think keeping drugs illegal is good.
Well, I mean, the side effects of drugs being illegal are good. I mean, the ideal would just be for them to be legal and not have all this legislation and all this bullshit. I think that would be a better idea. There are countries that, I mean, maybe, I'm sure they have a bunch of legislation on the side. I don't know. But, like, what, Switzerland was it? I don't remember what took that. One of the countries literally said, like, we don't care, do whatever the fuck you want. And, do whatever drugs you want, no consequences. Other than the ones imposed by yourself. If you get killed, then that's your bit.
Yeah.
And drug drug usage went way down. Illegal, well, not illegal drug usage in general, I think went way down after the controversy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because it probably lowers curiosity. I don't know. Like I don't know. I think like drug crime went down in general.
Drug crimes.
Yeah,
Like people getting
drug well obviously drug crimes.
nobody gets fucking shot over weed, do they? Is that a thing? Does that happen?
They get robbed over weed. Yeah.
Okay,
Think
that
that's
just
it.
comes with the job, you do illegal shit and you get fucking jumped.
Let's see. What country completely legalized all drugs and what were the outcomes? Did drug related violence or crimes? I mean like saying like crimes like what does crimes even mean? Because it's like if it was legalized and like certainly there are less crimes, right? But
Right, yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
let's just see. Portugal since 2003, decriminalization, not legalization. Okay. Okay. Possession of small amounts of drugs for personal use is no longer a criminal offense. Selling, manufacturing, and trafficking drugs remain a criminal offense. People caught with small amounts may receive fines, counseling, or referrals. Okay.
see, like that makes sense.
Okay. Outcomes. Research over more than 20 years generally finds positive outcomes. Significant reduction in HIV infections amongst people who inject drugs. Fewer overdose deaths compared with many other European countries. Okay, but was that like fewer overdoses over time? That's okay. More people entering voluntary treatment. Okay, lower burden on the criminal justice system. Okay, well, sure, fair enough. That's actually really good. That's actually a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No sustained explosion in overall drug use. Adult use rose. Oh, okay, rose somewhat for drugs over time, but trends were broadly similar to those seen elsewhere in Europe. Crime and defense. Okay. Uh. Okay. Sorry. Crime and violence. So supposedly, drug trafficking organizations did not become legal, so organized crime did not disappear. Right, because this is they didn't legalize it. They like decriminalized it.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that even means. Okay. Man,
I mean,
yeah, I
that
get
makes
what that means. I get what that means, but like, it's just
You don't
it
get
sounds weird.
No, it makes total sense. Like you don't get your whole life ruined just because you're caught with 1 gram of weed. You know?
Uruguay cannabis. Uruguay legalized and regulated cannabis in 2013. Outcomes included a substantial legal cannabis market replacing part of the illegal market. No dramatic increase in violent crime attributable to legalization laws. Okay, criminal organizations continue to traffic cocaine and other illegal drugs. Okay, but like cocaine and it's not about fucking cocaine and other illegal drugs. Canada. Okay, Canada legalized recreational cannabis in 2018. Okay. Evidence suggests. Well, you know what else happened? The fucking entire Toronto smells like fucking weed now.
Yeah, I remember Pierre saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pierre said fucking every corner some motherfucker smoking.
Yeah. I mean, those fuckers need it, to be honest. They are so fucked. Okay. Evidence suggests legal sales captured a large share of the cannabis market. Okay. Youth use has not shown dramatic sustained increases beyond pre-existing trends. Okay. Illegal cannabis markets shrank but did not disappear. Okay. There is little evidence that legalization significantly affected crime. So okay, never mind. Generally, no. Violence associated with drugs. So there wasn't like a decrease in drug violence, actually, but
Maybe it's not the drugs. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not the drugs.
I think that's crazy to decriminalize. I don't know. Maybe that's. I don't know if that's crazy. Crazy because like that's such a binary decision that can affect so many things. Is decriminalizing literally every single drug in your country.
Yeah.
That's like a pretty significant thing. I don't know, like how is Portugal even a fucking safe country? It's one of the safest countries in the world, apparently. It's consistently ranking in the top 10 on the global peace index.
Also, can I say
What?
something? Can I say something?
What?
I don't like weed shapes.
You know, like what?
I don't like weed shapes.
Which no, I don't like them either. They're fucking pretentious.
Yeah, I think they're ugly.
Yeah.
I think
like
they ruin the whole fucking scenery. Imagine you're walking in a beautiful city and some motherfucker comes up to you, is like, "You want weed, bro? My whole shop, we sell weed."
I prefer mine. I prefer mine. I prefer getting it from a dealer, man. I prefer getting my weed on the street. I
Honestly,
prefer
yeah.
getting it in my garage.
I prefer my shit homegrown.
Wait, I gotta make sure that's legal real quick. Is growing weed legal in? I think you can grow weed up to a certain amount.
In America, yeah. More than that, you need a license.
Only if you live more than 25 miles from the nearest licensed retail cannabis dispensary. 6 plants per person at the maximum. Okay. Okay. Is weed legal in Japan?
Fuck no. There's no difference between cocaine and weed in Japan. You get caught with either, you get fucked.
Yeah. 7 years. My fucking friend became a weed a pothead after she's Japanese. After living in Canada for like 2 years, fucking became a pothead. But when she came back to Japan, she had to I mean obviously she couldn't get weed that easily. So she is like a vape addict now. Vape addict. It's really gay. Not a fan of this shit at all. What, Rachel? What? You know, I gotta finish reading that article.
La vita è una cosa seria. I voti sbagliati ci devono fuori. Tu se ne va bene, nessuno riconoscerà che ci sono senza provarli con prove definitive. Cioè, certificato rilasciato da un cielo e sottoscritto io. Dall'arte dell'incontro, malgrado ci siano tanti fattori, c'è sempre perché una donna pensa, io che fin d'amore, come la mostrare,
Uh, oh well. Spiritual, profound. Profound influential lesson contributions to the design of practical program systems, and other through his work on Fortran. Wow. Um, Junior part of also junior biggest leader fan. Prior to this group of package, pilot language. The petition is called Fortran. This is an same group designed for the first system to translate Fortran programs into machine language. They employed novel optimizing techniques to generating fast machine language programs. Many other compilers for the language were developed first on IBM machines and later on virtually every make of computer. Fortran was adopted as a US national standard in 1966. During the latter part of the 1950s, Backus served on the international committees which developed Algol 58 and a later version Algol 60. The language Algol and its derivative. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I don't like it. All right. I remember compilers received broad acceptance in Europe as a means for developing programs and as a formal means of publishing the algorithms on which the programs are based. In 1959, Backus presented a paper at the UNESCO conference in Paris on the syntax and semantics of a proposed international algebraic language. In this paper, he was the first to employ a formal technique for specifying the syntax of programming languages. Oh wow. The formal okay, this is BNF, right? BNF standing for Bacchus normal form or Bacchus nor form to recognize the further contributions by oh wow Peter Nor of Denmark. This guy died. Right, Peter Nor. Okay. Contributions. Datology. He rejected the term computer science and said he couldn't develop the curriculum for datology. Datology. The science of data and data processes. Wow, this is interesting actually. I am really curious on this actually. Thus Backus has contributed strongly both to pragmatic world of problem solving on computers and to the theoretical world of existing at the interface between artificial languages and computational linguistics. Fortran remains one of the most widely used programming languages in the world. Almost all programming languages are now described with some type of formal syntactic definition. Oh yeah, like Okay, conventional programming languages are growing even more enormous but not stronger. Inherent defects at the most basic level cause them to be both fat and weak. A uh, primitive word at a time style programming inherited from their common ancestor, the von Neumann computer. Their close coupling of semantics to state transitions. Yeah. See, like, I totally agree with this. Semantics to state transitions. The division of programming into a world of expressions and a world of statements. Their inability to effectively use powerful combining forms for building new programs from existing ones. And their lack of useful mathematical properties for reasoning about programs. Well, yeah, because they're not okay. Actually, that makes sense because like they're not constraint solvers, and they could be constraint solvers, but they're not because they're pairing things. They're imperative. They're imperative machines. And alternative functional style of programming, right? The alters is depending on the use of line point. Yeah, like I honestly I don't care. I really don't care. Sure, structured data are often non-repetitive and non-recursive. Are hierarchically constructed, do not name their arguments, and do not require the complex dictionary procedurally. Yeah, and they're fucking slow. combining combining form. I like look, if we had functional machines, then they'd be good, but then we don't. We have they call them von Neumann, right? Von Neumann, like that's not even a term that I had known until yesterday when I read start reading this. Combining the forms can use high level programs to build still higher level ones in a style not possible in conventional. Can you explain this to me? John Backus. Functions that combine other functions can take kinds of now you have a new function that doubles every element of this. Why so just a very that is a life. When a program is the prospect combining existing functions and new functions, each combination raises the level up of abstraction, allowing you to think more about what is being computed. This is yeah, but like functional programming is abstract. It's not like it's not like a lossless abstraction. Like right, if you could resolve the state imperatively, then like you'd actually it would just be it would just be better. Like if you I mean you have more control. If you like you can't do everything functionally, right? Like that's why I guess there's a time and place for it, right? I mean, look, okay, you can do everything functionally, but it wouldn't be as efficient, right? Because unless we had functional machines, but we don't. So like, what would the functional machine look like? And is that even something we want? Is it actually productive? A functional machine? Fucking keep happening. I gotta show you. Associated with, okay, so control languages associated with the functional style of programming is an algebra of programs whose variables range over programs and whose operations are combining forms. This algebra can be used to transform programs and to solve equations whose unknowns are programs in much the same way one transforms equations in high school algebra. These transformations are given by algebraic laws and carried out in the same language in which programs are written. Combining forms are chosen not only for their programming power, but also for the power of their associated algebraic laws. General theorems of the algebra give the detailed behavior and termination conditions for large classes of programs. What are termination conditions? Algebra. Okay, so let's talk about he's talking about these one. Primitive functions. Just an ordinary algebra has rules. Right. Programming has rules. Right. No theorem. All functions have termination. Whatever. Whatever. We'll do this. Actually, I want to hear this. detailed behavior and termination conditions. The theorem tells you things such as what output a whole class of programs what output a whole class of programs computes. Whether the order of composition matters. Whether two different looking programs are under what conditions recursion stops. Whether evaluation is guaranteed for the emphasis is on what plus the program why back this bad imperative programming. In imperative programming, understand the program which is just verbal sentence one statement at a time. Yeah. Backus wanted a programming style where you could instead reason mathematically. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because programming, programming should be resemble mathematics where broad theorems apply. Yeah, but you kind of want low level reasoning, right? Because isn't that the unit that you're like differentiating on? Like if you're differentiating, like okay, you have like don't you want to make moves? If you can move in a direction that you know will get you there more accurately, but like in order to get there more accurately, it requires you to do something more low level than like I don't know, that's a evaluation you have to evaluate yourself if it's worth it or not. Like sometimes like the whole point is like the ability to have this low level reasoning is good. You get to choose. I mean I mean in functional programming I guess you also get to choose, right? Instead of require I mean what does it but what does he mean by requiring low level reasoning? Isn't that what abstraction is for? Like why don't you just this doesn't seem like a this I don't understand that concern. What do you mean? What's meant by aren't can't you avoid it? Yeah, that sounds like bullshit. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go for a walk. Jeff? Jeff? I'm gonna go out for a walk. All right. They obviously can't. It's about whether the language makes us amendable. What is amendable to non-applicants. Yeah, but they're not the same. Like, hmm. I don't know.
I want some fudge. Fudge. Mm. Allah. Allah. Mm. 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 Mm.
Not sure what happened. Okay. And not a big stop. Why did the stream cut off, sir? Why was this only 5 hours? There was so much other stuff that came about that have been really useful to catch. Whatever. Mm,
Do we have any more of that rice? What? Do we have any more of that rice? Mine? Yeah. Yeah. Really? You Codebase. Okay. It's not that big, but we just. Yeah, I would do that. You cook it. We have a rice cooking this. I don't know how to use it. How to use the rice cooker. I can show you. Second. From your country. Oh, that's big. Oh my. I mean, we also use those English. So 1 cup is enough for like a person. Yeah. Does it really grow? No, does it really grow? Like the rice once it cooks? Oh, it does. So, I don't know how much rice do you want to eat. Do you want to eat like? Oh, just that. It's fine. Just like a full plate, a big full plate. Yeah. That's cool. And then you wash the rice. And if it's some water, maybe you just drop that. How do you say you rinse it? I mean, you just rinse it for like there's the water's as yeah. I mean, you don't need to go 100% no cloud. And then for as much as so this is the hard part for me, it's not even for water. Okay, so there's a simple trick for that. It's essentially you want to have like you put your fingers in it. You want to have like until like this part, this what do you call it? Oh, I forgot. This line. Yeah. So it's like see it's over that line with much water. Oh, so you go this, and then yeah, you see like works. See, that should be enough water. And you think too much it will like stains. Right. Yeah, but
I mean, it won't be too soggy. It's like if you go by this measure, the soggiest it will get is like not that bad. Yeah, just a little bit.
That makes sense.
And that technique you can use for any rice. Hold on. Alright. Thanks. Done dustly. If you really want, you can put some of your chicken water into this rice
Yeah, I will. I will do that.
while it's cooking.
I want some. Well, I'm gonna use chicken water to cook this.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. That's chicken. All right, let me throw it in there. Thank you.
So cumin, right? So some cumin, right? Yeah. So you want the salt? Fund it out.
Da, 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 da. Dum, dum. What the fuck are you fucking doing? Ah, actually. That's where it got that fucking inspiration from. That's insane. So shut the fuck up. Onto the there, because I don't think we're gonna like some of like things. We're just gonna go look at it. It's so nice when we release the engine. This is gonna be one of the funny things. If we're gonna release the engine, most people are not gonna want this complicated movement system. And I'm gonna write a really big comment about how you probably don't want this complicated movement system. And it's gonna be in there because I don't think we're gonna like cut it. And so, and also somebody if they want to make a game that was make and dude, it's a lot of programming. But all these things, and so if you play a game like this, or really a lot of games, and you're like, why is it just some other way? It like, yeah, it might be that the developer is a doofus and just isn't doing a good job, but it might be that there's actually really good reasons. So, thinking the same way as so many Unreal Engine games, like the same honesty from first person character controller, with like the floating jump and everything, because it really starts with a template product that like, we're gonna get a ton of so large games that are just people like using default. Engine since for the orders sinking start. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't actually done this, so we'll see, but I think we're just gonna refactor our source code so that we can just delete a certain set of files and distribute through the rest. And it won't have a lot of the specifics of our particular game. We don't want something releasing our game on it. So it won't have that, and it won't have all the graphics because most of the different sides, it's like graphics and stuff. It have a bit, it'll pack it up and you see how this works, and maybe yourself. And it'll be a playable game if you just want to be super interesting. Like, hey,
I mean, it might be like the more you're in a few levels where you and maybe have some say just straight up levels from the game. Tutorial message you can more than one. Make sure that's in there. But it'll be something like that. It's not comes to the complexity of our specific game, right? But if you wanted to make your own game, it's a fully running. So programmers do this, right? Like the difference, and maybe this is also why people like vibe coding so much now, is like the difference between I have something that's already working and I can just like mess with it to make it happen. That's way better. Well, if the code is reasonable, it's way better than like starting from square zero. I have to and then someday I'll get to the part where
It's good. It's good. Good.
yeah,
Things you need someone to try.
just I mean, probably not that many people realistically would use it because people don't program engines anymore, but we're gonna next to people. You mentioned auditing times and what are the platforms that order is planning to release on? There's a lot of future platforms in discussion. What, what is certain and what has been announced right now is just the Switch 2. You can imagine other platforms where they would like to do the game. Some of them speak up. Yeah. We'll speak up and it can be the platform itself, the opportunity to make a special announcement. That's true, although some platforms are not that interested in working with you these days. So it's also true. And I reserve responsibility. Yeah, and so for people who are not necessarily totally developer scene, but if you know a little bit about this, right? So all these, so like Nintendo has a state of play show, for example, that we were not in, but we thought we might be in it, and so we were sort of saving that for the Switch 2 announcement. But then we got invited to do this other thing. It was like they were like, oh, the requirement for this show in Los Angeles was that you had to be announced before the show, and we were like, okay. So we changed the way our announcement was going to work. But generally, if you're going to announce that your game's on a platform, being in one of these shows, it's a little bit better because like it helps spread the word about the game and it helps people. Every console, for example, has players who are especially invested in that console and really like it and it helps tell those people about your game. And so I don't know that there will be any more of those this year, but it is in general, as Billy said, it's in general a tactic that you would look for as an indie developer is to get in those.
What in the game might change after the demo?
Well, like I said, that we're still working on the controls. We're going to have better frame rates on low end platforms, probably better frame rates on high end platforms too. But the playability on low end platform is something that we're working on. And when I say low end platform, I mean like really low. As we mentioned, it is playable on Steam Deck. Steam Deck in 2026 is really kind of low end. It's not a powerhouse. Um, but we have some people playing on like like a GeForce 1050 or whatever, which is like a GPU from 12 years ago or something or 10 years ago, and just making sure that we run on those. And then on platforms like Steam Deck that we run better with so either better frame rate or using less battery because if you're trying to game on your Steam Deck, you just you would like to be able to game for longer. So those are among the top concerns. Content wise, the story is still changing a lot because I'm trying to like globally solve for something across the whole game, and so you know a lot of it will get rewritten. Of course, in the demo, not all the roles were cast for voice acting, and so that's something that will happen. That's full voice in the final game for everything.
most of the puzzles that you see are going to stay, and most of like the overworld that you saw is basically locked down, and it might change by like a square or two. Actually, we changed some stuff that's like 5 squares of terrain or whatever, that simplified some things, and so um, nothing too dramatic. Most of the main work that we have to do gameplay wise and all that is in parts of the game that are way later that people haven't seen.
There are a couple of questions regarding the design, which I think would be a bit deep and will then like the deep discussion will follow again. So how are we doing on time on your end, folks?
I've got
Okay. So there is a question about determining the difficulty of the puzzles, and I would like to combine it with something you mentioned, Jonathan, before. Like if somebody is spending more work during the puzzle, he or she should be rewarded with more stuff. And to me, these things are intertwined, like the difficulty and then the reward. But actually, what even is the reward? Like, is this an achievement sometimes? Is this like a bigger unlock of something in the world? Like what levers do you have in such a game, like Order of the Sinking Star? What you can reward player with? And yes, so all of that.
we do have like Steam achievements in the game. Um, I've never really been a fan of that kind of a thing. But we do it, I think, because there is like the metagaming aspect of you can see if your friends did certain things, or you can see, uh, you know, you can see if like the general player base got so far or whatever. But I do think the more Animal Well style of like we represent what we did somewhere central in the game is uh is more rewarding, and it just has more integrity. Like you can slap an achievement onto anything, right? And so we're not very achievement centric. Um, because it's a big game, I forget how many we have. I'm gonna say it's like there's like around 30, which is a lot. But it's because the game's so big. They don't tend to be tied to individual levels. They tend to be tied to bigger accomplishments within the game that I don't want to exactly spoil right now. But as you work through the game and you're solving stuff, there's like bigger things. So like in The Witness, for example, um, there was one achievement per like big gold box laser that you would do that represented that you finished this area. And it's not quite like that here, but it's approximately like that. And there's just 30 something because it's a much bigger game. What was the rest? There was something else.
Because it was difficulty and then the
Yeah,
rewards.
difficulty and rewards. Yeah. Well, I'm okay. So there was a game or a book that went around a lot. I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago in game design circles. I'm not sure if I would recommend this book these days because I think a lot of psychology is questionable. But there's a book called Punished by Rewards by a guy named Alfie Cohen, and it's more of like an educational system kind of a thing. And he looks at all these cases where he categorizes rewards as extrinsic or intrinsic, right? And extrinsic is essentially like I'm going to pay you money if you do this thing, but maybe it's not money. Maybe it's achievements. Maybe it's like whatever. I'm going to give you something outside the game for doing this. And intrinsic rewards are like, the game itself within the way the game works recognizes your progress. And the case that he makes is that extrinsic rewards are basically demotivating and make things less fun because people are just doing the things to get the extrinsic reward, which ultimately is kind of hollow, right? And intrinsic rewards are tend to be more enjoyable and tend to make the thing that they're involved with like deeper because it's more like just an extra aspect of this interactive system that you have. And so It's I recommend checking out the book. Like I said, I don't know what I would think about it in 2026 overall, but it's a good mental model to have. And it's the way that I think about things. Like, I don't want to bribe people to play my game. I want them to play the game because it's good, you know? And and so and in fact, when you start leaning too much on these kind of extrinsic rewards, you end up making the game less good because you're taking the energy of the game and pointing it at something outside the game. Um, you're pointing it at something shallower and worse than the game. Like achievements are very. My list of achievements on Steam is a very shallow thing. That to the extent it has value, it's my memories of what I did in the game to get that. So I'm not very achievement centric, but it is a very big game, and when things are bigger, they kind of need a different structure. Like um, I'm not sure if I know how to explain this without going into a big analogy, but like, let's say you had a game that's 10 levels, and every time you play a level, your feeling of progress was like 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Because it's only 10, like that structure works because you're like, oh, I'm getting close, I'm getting palpably closer with each increment. And it's every puzzle is meaningful because I only need 10 of them or whatever, right? When it's 1,000, that structure doesn't work, right? Who cares that I did 557 and I was on 556 a minute ago, right? And so there's just different for people to feel progress and for people to feel even just understand what the game is giving them to play and lay it out in their mind in an appropriate way. We do a lot of things. So some of that you already see in the demo, actually. There's two major things that you can observe in the demo. One is it's not just four worlds coming together and you play the puzzles, but it's all laid out spatially, right? So one level is this direction, one level is this direction. And for people who played the later parts of the demo, when they combine, that happens in the quadrant that these two cardinal directions have in common, right? And so the whole game is laid out like that, and that helps you when you look at the overhead map. It helps you understand where have I made progress, where haven't I. And if you go to the southwest, you know what ideas you're going to encounter there, even if you haven't played the levels, at least generally, because you learn that that's how the game works, right? And then these gold rooms that you visit, one of them, those are laid out in a similarly orchestrated manner. And that structure both, well, okay, it, it it helps you organize, but it also gives you a feeling of progress. So in the demo, you do the gold room, you unlock this little thing that you don't quite know what it is, but it's a golden, like one of these sign objects, and you see a little meter, and you find that if you solve these bigger levels, you start filling up the meter, right? And so filling up an individual meter is a sense of progress. But then when you solve it, you can't solve it in the demo because there's not enough levels. But when you do in the real game, um, something very concrete happens, and then that process that you do there is actually repeatable in every quadrant. Actually, there's okay, math time. There's four worlds. Four choose two is six, right? So six is the number of ways that you can combine four worlds together, and so there's that many of these like I'm going to say quadrant again because it's the word I've been using, but there's that many combination areas that you might work through. And so after you do it once or twice, you see like, oh, this is how this works. And then that structure makes sense to you. Like, oh, I did one combination area, so I can do the same thing down here. And instead of individual puzzles, well, the individual puzzles are progress toward a big star, and the big stars are progress toward filling up the meter of big stars, and filling up the meter of big stars is progress, well, is a step in getting the number of combination areas that you need to get to the end game. And so it's a multi-tiered structure, is what I would say.
I don't want you to answer the question, but I am excited to figure out if I get to like the corners of the map and if they wrap around. If there's ever a point where
Anyway, what else?
Do you have any comment on the rewards system slash difficulty management of the puzzles before we move on?
Yeah, it's um Steam achievements specifically was something I also felt like kind of conflicted about, and um, I almost feel like there's just a lot of people that have an unhealthy relationship with achievement systems, and in a way they're kind of like drug addicts, like they need them, and if you do anything to like frustrate their access to them, they will like lash out at you. So I was careful to not like tie any achievements to like level layer three kind of secret unfair things in the game, and I wanted them to be like pretty reasonable to get to. But so yeah, that and then yeah, they are kind of like yeah, definitely extrinsic motivation, and I don't know. There's like a little, and I think there's still a tiny bit of value in like seeing the achievement pop up sometimes. Like you really have to think carefully about how it's going to show up in game and how that will affect like the tone. Like I'm thinking about the I don't know if I want to spoil it, but in Tears of the Kingdom, and I think this may be kind of an intentional joke, but when you beat that game, you see like a and it's like a very dramatic moment in the music swelling, but then it says like quest complete or something like in the middle of the screen, like in kind of the standard like side quest complete way. And in that case, I think it is intentional. That's kind of a funny joke, but I remember playing Alan Wake 2, and there's like plenty of moments where that game is very self-serious, and there's like, the achievement pop-ups just like tap humming and um, sort of they were like very distracting. So, but otherwise, if you like time it right, and you know you already are knowing you're kind of doing something important and giving them up, and feel okay. Um, but yeah, I think generally you want to like reward people with something that you know is either like unintrusive or it like unlocks new gameplay mechanics and gives them something to play with and like uh, is like you know a meaningful addition to the game. Like giving them more game to play is like always a good reward if they like the game.
Hopefully they do, if they are already in the gameplay experience. Um, uh, when I discussed this with a couple of people, some of them were hesitant to play the demo, to play the game on the release to get like full experience. Uh, what is the what is your mindset, Jonathan, about this? Is it something like the full release is the proper release and the demo is a sort of an early access way of experiencing it, or is there something that people are missing out when they play demo?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, the story will change a little bit, maybe a lot in some places, but um, you know, the story. Even though I said earlier how much I'm working on the story, it is not the main point of the game. The main point of the game is the gameplay ideas that are embedded in the gameplay. And those are basically finalized.
How's the chicken?
We talked about tweaking more.
How was the chicken?
105 that are in the demo, and I'm not sure if we're going to. Um, but at the same time, I also understand if people, uh, you know, if people want to wait for the full game, that's great. I think that makes sense. So the whole Steam Next Fest is kind of weird to me, actually, in some way, because on the one hand, it's all these demos that you can play for free, right? All you got to do is download them. And you look at the player numbers for these, like even the most popular games in Next Fest, and they're a small fraction of who buy that game. I mean, you never quite know
Right into them previous one.
yet, but if you would predict like how many people I think would buy this game, the number of people who play the demo is actually a pretty small fraction of it. And so that's interesting.
What?
It's maybe a lot of people actually have this opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait for the
I do
game.
like this one.
Or maybe,
Well, I want
maybe
boxing, but
there's all these demos.
I'm just ready.
I don't know what it is, but it's just not a rare thing, I guess, is what I would say. And I just, however people want to play, I think this is the player is always right. Like however they want to do things. Including if they want to make them like if they want to.
Did you walk on
Like usually they get the answer to every possibility in the game for themselves. Like obviously that's not what I'm saying. I actually don't have any countermeasures about that.
I'm walking on water.
This one's
I'm walking on water.
where toward the end of the game,
Like that's some.
the first ending.
Oh, really?
So you can't look them up. You have to understand how this works. I got a number of Daddy Daycare.
Yo, Daddy Daycare was lit. Wait,
What you did.
Daddy Daycare is like well old too.
Yes. Sometimes
There's that guy, that black guy.
That's the thing. Like, there's the original Daddy Daycare,
Oh
and then there's that's. I think that's the remake.
no.
You sure?
No, I'm talking like 1999 or whatever. Let's see. Daddy Daycare 2003.
But the benefit of that
With it had fucking Eddie Murphy in it. Yeah, this one. Bro,
Yeah.
remember when the
like
the chick
this is the level
or when that chick's no the chick who thought like it was weird that they weren't gay. Like think about it, straight dudes.
Dude, last time I watched it was like 2005 or something.
Yeah.
So like I don't even remember the grown up fucking jokes. But I just remember one of the mothers was really high.
Yeah.
Like they would like fucking like they were speechless over it.
Yeah.
God, that scene was so hilarious.
Well, remember the premise was he worked at a
relative to the game itself and how
like an advertising company, but he played like a character in the advertising. And then the broccoli. Yeah.
it's about
He played the vegetables. Him and his friend played the vegetables. And then they'd like act out the scene.
right
Yeah.
because
And like
well there's two
obviously they hate their job.
are actually the easier form.
But I don't know, is that why they started the daddy daycare? I wonder.
I thought it's because it's like
I don't actually remember.
some dads and like
they say
their
one or two
wife
songs
or something.
Oh yeah.
time to like something that you understand.
Revolutionary movie. I should say.
Difficult. It's very easy to like
Remember the fucking
write a little too much.
There was, like, the
to it, like, I don't
the private school teacher that like hates the daycare. And she tries to like sabotage the entire operation. And she puts beetles at the one of the child events. Do you remember that? She put like it's not empty, there's a little bit left.
It's challenging because of the
Just fucking drink it.
right, but always the less that you have to
Right. Dude, I got to rewatch that movie now that we're fucking
Yeah.
talking about it. I don't remember shit.
But then in terms of the ideas from the story,
You know what I love
things that
from movies from the 2000s?
What?
The fucking hot women in it.
was
Hot women, bro.
it's a slip of on game.
I know.
People
Like I watch superhero movies these days, and I'm like thinking to myself, this chick is not hot. Is that bad?
yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And then I'm watching like fucking
People's
what was that?
whatever. I had kind of this. I was at least gonna try to do this.
Have you watched,
emotional thing of like, oh, this one is like this coming of age story about the guy trying to prove himself and
have you watched
and all that. And I like it
this like spy movie with women in it? Fucking
the game.
Charlie's Angels? You remember
No.
Charlie's Angels? Yo, hold on, let me pull up the. Can you pull up
So even
Charlie's Angels?
right? But any kind of story that's injecting a bunch of ideas
Yeah.
that have nothing to do with the gameplay at all.
Look at this shit, bro. Isn't this
My
hot?
God, this is so 2000s.
In this game,
God damn it!
What is this about? I never seen it.
It's about a bunch of women who are like spies.
What? Okay, I gotta watch this. It kind of gives me that Spike is vibe.
and maybe a little
It's
bit
like totally spies, but like adulthood.
like maybe
You remember-
like,
oh,
I'm
yeah?
getting the feeling
You remember
that
Spy
characters-
Kids?
Yes, Spy Kids is fucking lit.
I don't understand that yet.
This was like the whole scary movie era.
Spy movies that I took.
This era of like fashion and Just everything, man, it was so good. Do you remember?
How hot?
You remember Scary Movie?
Too much.
Scary movie was fucking. I've watched all the scary movies. Dude.
Yeah.
That's why.
Wasn't it like the fucking those Black Brothers? Who have a whole thing.
Oh,
It's one of their productions, isn't it?
Really needed quiet.
Key and Peele.
It's different.
No,
I
Kim
don't
Jong
feel
Un brothers.
as much.
No, Wayans brothers. The Wayans.
Oh, the Wayans.
It's a Wayans.
I didn't even fucking know that. They fucking. I thought they just acted in the movie.
No, these
Bro, these fuckers are so raunchy, dude.
I think
These guys are so fucking raunchy. Well, you know what else they made is a haunted
Yeah, it's also probably
their spin on Paranormal Activity
he wrote this
and like 20 because that's all they do is just shit on the mainstream.
Yeah.
Haunted House 2013. This movie sucked so fucking much, but it's funny. It's like it's funny sucky. It's like yeah, like you're gonna give it a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's fucking funny.
Yeah. Well,
It's just so bad it's funny.
players.
It's raunchy as fuck.
I think for most people, it's better to have characters who say some stuff. But how much stuff they should say and whatever is a non-concurrent.
Yeah, this movie sucked dick.
Friend who like texted.
Yeah, so the Wayans brothers are like rich as hell because of all this kind of fucking stuff.
You should at least let me
Yeah.
come off as a player, which we're gonna do in the final game.
Do you remember Rush Hour? Did you watch Rush Hour?
No, I didn't.
I kind of get it.
Is that with
at the same time, it's like would be missing.
Oh my god, these guys made so many movies.
That's all this
The Wayans brothers?
Oh shit, they did Don't Be a Menace? Don't Be a Menace to South Central drinking your juice in the hood. Yeah.
You know,
This is a clip.
They did Friday too, and Friday.
What? Did Friday?
Yeah, pretty sure that's also a Wayans brother production.
No way.
In the game, the UI.
Yeah, they're big names, bro. Like,
Dude, this guy's an OG then. Hold on.
yeah, it's like a whole family thing. Like, it's like this black family that like intergenerationally has been big in like entertainment. Like, it's
Yeah.
what do you call it? It's monarchy, no, like
What the fuck?
what is it? What do you find?
Wait.
wanting to be just deliberate and clear and not have a lot of extraneous stuff, which doesn't necessarily translate.
The Wayans were in on Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, they're big fucking names in Hollywood. They're really big names in Hollywood.
This is the core background sensibility, and I just try to apply that. So for example, with the meters that we fill up,
That's crazy.
you can go check that.
Dude, yeah, they make the most fucking raunchy motherfucking movies
Yeah,
ever.
I don't know. Is this kind of humor like normal in America or
No, it's not. No, it's not.
There's a place where we still have.
It's not a side. It's just not normal. This is like
because I thought like this is what Americans did. So that's why like
no, dude. This shit is taboo even for Americans. Like all the scary movies.
really because in these movies it's just
Oh, he did Norbit also. I actually like this movie. It's like it's kind of big.
this movie was also hella raunchy.
It was raunchy, but I really liked it. It's not a 9 on fucking Rotten Tomatoes. It's fine. Yeah, I honestly like this movie.
But what I'm saying, back to what I'm trying to say, all right? 2000 movies, women were hot. But
Yeah.
nowadays, women are just not hot in movies anymore. I cannot fall in love with these actresses and like idolize them. That's all.
Yeah.
I think we just punted and used.
But you know, women were way flatter back then.
Because we don't.
Women were what?
Way flatter back then.
Yeah, but at least they were not on Ozempic, dude.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, we've got this. It's got all these sockets on it.
Yeah.
Where to go is you pick them up and they animate smoothly into there. And like, so you
And
know,
these fuckers are so
it's just not as
fucking
you know,
raunchy.
it's sort of modeled after these games like going back to Dead Space or whatever, where your health meter was sort of like on the character's back. But that's a much easier thing to read
Tupac,
because it's one piece of information that's like a scale.
Resurrection.
But differentiate
What the
between
fuck?
teenagers 11
Is that a game or?
No, it's a movie.
and
Documentary though.
I'm really excited for the sort of the parody video that's going to get posted to YouTube.
No, this actually looks
Over
good.
the City Star was made by Ubisoft. Whatever it was, it's gonna look like
No, it's a movie.
presence of the HUD that says like 1,000.
Tupac Resurrection.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the 3D Mario video that, or that's AAA Mario. Sorry.
What's that whole thing
You ever
about
seen AAA Mario?
That's like
Sorry.
Tupac lives. I don't know if that
Recording.
Tupac what?
Tupac lives. Like I've heard like
Tupac lives.
lives.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. America's really big, huh?
No, but he's like I'm pretty certain he's dead. You know what his last words were?
But
Fuck you. Because the guy who came up to him, he thought was the guy who shot him,
uh,
and as he was bleeding out, he's like "fuck you," and then he just died right there. That was it. God damn it, dude! Oh my god, Scary Movie is so fucking raunchy, dude. I can't get used to it. What is it? Scary Movie 5? Like the thing is, like a lot of the humor is just really like unfunny, like but sometimes it's just so like jarring that it's just fucking hilarious, or just like so goddamn disgusting or raunchy that it's like it's actually funny.
she.
So hold up, who's this chick then? Who's this chick who's always in the scary movies? Is she also a weigh-in? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Screenplay. No, she's just another black chick. Cast. No, Regina Hall. Crazy. Brenda Me. Oh, she went as a different fucking. She had a different name. Oh, Denise, what? Wait. Oh no, this is the fucking fictional name. Oh god, this fucking guy, John Abrams. Honestly, I want to watch the original Scream because I haven't seen it yet.
What?
I haven't watched the original Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded.
Really?
Yeah. That's why it's a cult classic and not an actual classic.
That's hilarious. I think the premise is cool though. Like, from what I understand, I don't know if this is the same movie, but like, the chick works on a Hollywood set or something, like a horror set. So like, you can't really tell what is fucking real versus not. I don't know, something like that.
what is that you're eating over there? That looks pretty tasty. Calzones. Calzone, huh? Yeah, let's see it. Pass that on down. Let's get a little look at that. Big style wants a little taste. Come on. Let's go there. That's a good boy. Okay, hey, what's in this thing? Cheese, pepperoni, eggplant. Eggplant, huh? Oh, that's a hell of a thing. All right, back to business. There you go. Very good, very good. Got the egg stand up. Okay, it's yours. All right, here we go. Like I told you last week, the invention of the press box is taking too long. Huh? Oh, that eggplant is very good. Everybody up. I got eggplant on my mind. You say so. Don't get me a couple of calzones right now. Oh, move it out. Big stein, what's an eggplant? Hey, stand up.
You like Seinfeld?
What?
Do you like Seinfeld?
I mean, it was alright. Like, it's a good background show.
Just it's a good yeah. It's a good background show.
There was no big. But it was quite a bit. You, did you look at this picture carefully? Carefully? Because I'm not.
Hey, look, we have to get there before the run, okay? Come on. Oh. Not you. I gotta go. I gotta go. Come on. You're messy.
Yeah, he knows.
What are you doing here? Spider tracking. Wait, you're looking for Spider-Man. Okay. Just wait here, okay?
Welcome to New York.
Hey, I heard you were looking for me. You doing Heights? Huh? We have to go there. Did you know
So
that one
there
of
is.
the most brutal zombie games ever made was actually released on the Nintendo Wii U? That's right. If you've played this game before, it's no surprise on anything that I'm saying. The game came out in 2012. It's called Zombie U. Now, back in 2012, when the Wii U launched, most people were talking about Mario and Nintendo Land. But hidden in the launch lineup was this brutal game called Zombie U. Unlike most zombie games, this one didn't care about making you feel powerful at all. There's no over the top weapons, there's no going down hundreds of zombies, and there's not really any action here. Every encounter in this game was dangerous. And what made it so unique was its death system. I think this was the first mainstream game to have permadeath.
Oh my god, this is fucking.
That was popular. This project I died. That character was gone forever. You'd have to play a completely different person, and then somewhere else in London, the character that you just played would walk around as a member of the zombie team. It was dreadful. I bought this, and it actually took me a little while to find the courage to play it on it. And it released later on the PC, and it didn't have that same knack that the original one did. But have you guys actually played this before? Because I have.
You just show me fucking gameplay, you fucking. In the season.
I'm going slow talking about it. Here, yeah.
What the fuck? Why does this game look so good? This is a fucking Wii U. This came out in 2012.
What's up, some bitten by oh my god. Here, this is completely blind. I have never played this.
It kind of looks like a mobile game.
It's definitely not. Flashlight running.
You know what I want to watch? I want to watch Windcraft. I want to watch some Windcraft
Yeah.
gameplay. Oh man, it's been a while. Oh my god.
You like Monster or Minecraft? Oh, I'm going to Twitch TV now.
Oh god, this is so nostalgic. What the fuck? Oh my gosh.
I think some agility as well. I could do some
I probably can't watch this on stream. I'm gonna watch this later. This is cool. All right, good work.